How you doing? My name is Rashard. You might see me as Rashard Nzinga on Facebook, but my real name is actually Rashard Brown. I throw in the Nzinga because I want to represent a little bit for some great African ancestors beyond just carrying a name that is more from our slave masters, Brown. But anyways, what I do is sell books, all type of literature, coming from black authors, coming from our experience, from an Afrocentric experience, and all different type of historians and authors who are exposing a lot of the history that is sometimes missing, that we don't often see too much in the classroom, or it's only seen as it relates to Europe or different things of that nature relating to the slave trade and stuff. But you know, I got local history, I got all type of history from the African American experience and our experience on the continent of Africa. And basically I go around, I do vending and various events around the city, and I'm at the flea market every weekend doing my thing. Got the booth set up. If you see me on Facebook, I got it painted red, black, and green. You know, Marcus Garvey colors: red for the blood, green for the land, black for the African man. And that's basically how I got it set up for the people, you know what I'm saying, exposing a lot of stuff that you don't see on the daily. And right here, this book I got with me is one thing that is not known a lot about the African American people in South Carolina, and this is about the Gullah roots of African American culture. And that's the type of stuff that I bring, you know. Not only some of the mainstream stuff like a Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, but you know, stuff that you might not see every day, all type of interesting stuff, just bringing it to the people. That's kind of my mission. So kind of like my introduction into kind of the Afrocentric studies and African studies started a while back. I mean, like when I was like 11 years old, I was reading like Elijah Muhammad and stuff, that type of stuff. You know, I was introduced to that stuff by my uncle. But you know, I studied that stuff for a while, then I kind of fell back on it. Then later, in my later teens, when I started to kind of come back to having a hunger for knowledge and learning history and stuff, I got more into the Afrocentric stuff rather than the stuff that Elijah Muhammad and stuff was talking about, even though he was a great contribution, you know. But I got started really. One of the most interesting things that brought me back was watching a video, a documentary that Wesley Snipes produced, and he had John Henry Clark, who's the author of this book that I'm holding right here. It was on Showtime. I saw it one day, and it was called A Great Mighty Walk, and you can look it up on YouTube. It's an excellent history of our people, you know, going back through the centuries and everything, bringing it up to date. And you know, that kind of inspired me. I was trying to figure out more, because when I saw him talking about these this African, what was it? It was an African emperor in Rome, and just different stuff that I never heard about African history. That made me search. Like, it's a lot out here that we don't know. So I started off reading different books. I picked up, my uncle told me about John G. Jackson's book, on African Civilization. So I picked up that book. That was like one of the first ones that I really ripped through, and brought me up the knowledge about ancient Kemet and all these different places where we didn't know that they had African people in Egypt, you know, and different things where they was building pyramids and all type of things. So that just woke up a whole hunger in me to get more and more knowledge. So I just been studying it for years. Not only you know, taking African American classes in school and stuff, which were good, but I started to do a lot of independent research, and that's the bulk of my research been on my own, just going through and trying to get the best information I can find. And since I've gained that knowledge, now my mission is to kind of put it back out, because I was blessed to have it given to me. And as far as the local history and stuff, See, I'm here from Charleston, amongst the Gullah people, and we all know we have a beautiful history, being some of the people in America who were able to retain a lot of their African roots. You see, you come to Charleston, you see all the basket weaving, you see all that type of stuff. You go on some of the islands on the coast, you might see them still making their fish nets from hand, you know, because they brought a lot of crafts, and we were able to retain that because our numbers that we had, our dense population of Africans that we had here on some of the sea islands, and the isolation, and them coming from some of the same areas, they were able to hold on to the information. So that wowed me. So I started to study a little bit more about our own culture and how we brought rice to South Carolina, and how we had that knowledge of rice growing coming from Africa, and knowing that we didn't just come as some bum people, you know, we came with knowledge. We built some of this city, you know. You see all this beautiful architecture around the city. You see we standing right here on Mall Park, where they got a dedication to Philip Simmons, and that's a testament to the type of craftsmanship that was brought from Africa, you know. It wasn't just anybody just being whooped and you go work in the field. No, these people knew, they had knowledge of agriculture. They had knowledge of, you know, all type of artisans and craft type of work. So that's something that needs to be told, and that's what I'm trying to come out here and just, you know, bring a different aspect to the information that's being brought, because it's heavily saturated with slavery and civil rights, and you don't get certain information too much. It's good to have that, because truth is truth. You got to bring everything. But what I try to do is balance it out, and I'll bring books out like this, you know, and you'll see Marcus Garvey, you know. That's a man who talked about our independence, and, you know, black people building their own nations and stuff. They don't promote men like that too much, you know what I'm saying, for certain reasons. And so we can't leave them out the picture. Powerful men like him, Malcolm X, Kwame Nkrumah, and Patrice Lumumba, you can't leave them out the picture. You can't go on the African continent and put all the emphasis on men like Mandela, even though he was a great man and what he was doing. You gotta expose men like Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe too. You know, you can't just talk about Martin Luther King without exposing men like Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale and Kwame Ture, aka Stokely Carmichael. See, you can't leave this history out. And when we find it, as young people, we get inspiration because we see the power in these black men who stood up for their rights. And you really got to examine this. And it's good to have the books, because in the Hollywood media, you know, you might see some Black Panthers running around on some hate whitey ridiculousness, you know what I'm saying, on some foolishness, but in all actuality, when you flip to the books and you read and you see all the powerful images and what these men were really doing, you see all type of breakfast programs for the kids and all type of stuff. You see them mingling with different people of different from different backgrounds. They in the community really putting in work. They ain't just standing up doing nothing ignorant like the media will portray. So it's always good to get in these books. That's what I try to do. That's my inspiration, and I'm still learning as I'm putting information out right now, because I'm still young and still learning. So I want the people to build with me as I build, and that's what I'm out here doing. That's what I'm about. So as far as like this generation and us not having a lot of the information out, I feel like as far as here in South Carolina and growing up here, I didn't really have nobody to expose me, or nobody really in my community, to a lot of the information that I had to search for myself. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's a bad thing, to not really know your history, because your history will tell you where you've been at, and you will better understand why you are where you at today and what you need to do in the future. And it's kind of a route for you to grow upon. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't got no roots, no kind of culture to build upon, then you kind of in chaos. You will fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's how a lot of my generation living out here today. They don't got no culture. They just grow up and whatever on the TV or whatever fascinates their mind, that's really not coming from no strong background, they'll gravitate to it. You know what I'm saying? So all the chaos that you see in the day with us killing each other, us on drugs, and all this type of chaos in our community, that stems from us not having strong backgrounds in our culture and our history. Because if we had that, we wouldn't have any room for the chaos, because that would be kind of a barricade against it. Because we already know what we're supposed to be doing. We'll know the greatness that we coming from, and we'll walk around with more dignity than carrying ourselves all type of way, living all type of way, and having self-hate. We'll know why. If we understand what happened to us in the past, we'll understand all the self-hate and stuff that we have. You know what I'm saying? Why we hate our natural hair, why we hate our skin, and we have this like light skin supremacy amongst each other. You know, why we belittle each other so much. You know, we don't really value each other's lives. We will take each other's lives like ain't nothing, you know. We so in competition with each other. And all that stems from our history, you know what I'm saying? When we were taught that we were nothing, you know what I'm saying? That was programmed and brainwashed into our people's heads, you know. And if they realize the greatness that they come from and what the type of nations that they've been building when they were back in Africa before slavery, then they'll have a little bit more dignity and pride. You know, so that definitely does great damage to them kids when they ain't really got nothing to build upon. And not to mention that, you know, half of them may not have parents in the home or whatnot, and we ain't living in a time where people have a mind frame. It takes a village to raise a child anymore. So, you know, it's a lot of chaos. So that's why I hope that through different DVDs, different books, different people in the community coming out and doing their part, spreading the knowledge, because if you got it in your head, you can't really hold it inside, you know what I'm saying? You gotta really get it out, even if people don't want to hear it all the time and they give you backlash. Like if you see me on Facebook, I posting all type of Afrocentric stuff, that stuff ain't popular, you know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing that gonna get me a million likes from people all over, but I do it anyway because I want to get the message out there, you know? That's what Martin Luther King said, silence is betrayal. You know what I'm saying? You can't be by so silence. I don't care if it ain't popular. You got to get out here and get that message out here to the people that, you know, they come from better and they need to do better, you know, and we really need to reform our culture, you know what I'm saying? Because we, in this time of day, you know, we got this hip-hop culture, which really isn't a culture, you know what I'm saying? Because anything goes with that, you know what I'm saying? Hip-hop ain't really got no kind of form to it, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of an anything goes type of thing. So we really go with anything, whether Scarface, whether they sitting on the TV watching Nino Brown, or they listening to Future City Molly World, you know what I'm saying? They ain't getting nothing but chaos. And in place of that, they're not getting Marcus Garvey, they're not getting Malcolm X. But if they getting that from ground up, you know, and we really raising them with all that information, and they know what to do out here, I don't think we would be going for all this. And even the people that I name, I don't even think those type of stuff would be produced in our community if we had some type of order and history going on. I mean, we need people out here on the daily trying to educate the kids beyond the classroom, you know what I'm saying? Because the classroom are good, but they don't got the right teachers, and they really ain't grasping the information like they're supposed to be doing. They need it outside of that classroom, you know what I'm saying? They mothers and their fathers and their uncles, they neighbors need to be the ones that on 24/7, 365, they got the mind frame of some type of culture that's going to keep us, you know, in order, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't just send them to school and think that's going to be it, you know what I'm saying? Because if they ain't right in the community, they ain't going to be right when they go in them classrooms. They ain't even going to be trying to hear it, you know what I'm saying? So from the media to the house to the schools, this information got to be heard in all bases, you know what I'm saying? And when we look at situations like what happened with Trayvon Martin and Jordan Davis, and several others, you had a lot of cases all over throughout the ages. You might say going back, racial profiling. That's been going on for a while. But my thing with that is, we gotta start begging for justice, and you gotta start demanding justice at the end of the day. I said we should have boycotted Florida. Nobody should have been going down there for spring break, hurt the economy. You don't respect us, we don't respect you. We ain't spending with you. Or in some cases, you might have to take a violent approach if someone do something like that to your kids. You know what I'm saying? Or as a community, you might have to stand up to the forces that be. You know what I'm saying? You just got to think about it and analyze it, because you can't sit around and let case by case go by and you do a little march or whatnot, and next year you're doing another march, then 10 years later you're doing another march. You know what I'm saying? And then nothing getting done. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta stop the police from brutalizing us. We gotta stop brutalizing each other. We gotta take back our communities. And if you look back at what Marcus Garvey been doing, what they've been doing, trying to build their own communities, their own nations, and all that stuff like that, we wouldn't have to deal with that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be under somebody else's realm, and then you gotta complain about how they treat you. You should have been building your own in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But when that took place, and we saw the man get off, Zimmerman get off, and now he trying to be the celebrity and all this stuff, trying to fight celebrity. That's like a slap in the face of black people. Like you can just go around and kill us, with immunity. But same thing happened with Jordan Davis. And let's just keep on having. We gotta stand up for our people, and we might have to stand up and fight. You might have to take a more aggressive approach just to let them know, like, you cannot just step all over our people. We willing to go fight out the people wars and all this, that, and the third. But when it come down to us, we non-violent. But we can all day go in the military and go kill some Arabs. You know what I'm saying? But if the police killing our people, we non-violent all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a coward approach to it. You know what I'm saying? If somebody take one of your kids' life, you should be standing up at the end of the day, eye for eye. Is what I believe. But some people might take a non-violent approach, and if that's your approach, then go do something. You still can do something. You can boycott it. You know what I'm saying? Go boycott. Stand up. Don't support the people who, I know there been a couple companies and stuff that been supporting Zimmerman throughout the trial. Boycott them. Y'all ain't doing that. Y'all been boycotting Florida. Y'all still going there on these vacations. Y'all should make them feel the pain of messing over black people. You gotta stand up and be firm, and we gotta have movements continually. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not us banding together when an event happened, or a black person died, so now we got all this unity, but next week we back to killing each other. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have that unity 365 days out the year. We gotta keep it moving. Alright, so what figure in black/African history would I want to meet or shake his hand, congratulate, build with, if I had the opportunity from anybody throughout our history? It's hard to name one, so I might name a few, but one definitely got to be Marcus Garvey. I think that's one of the greatest black men that ever stepped in the United States, in this whole Western Hemisphere. From the Caribbean on up, because his plan of action just didn't include the island of Jamaica. His philosophy was, why would I give up a continent for an island? You know what I'm saying? He didn't see himself just as no Jamaican. He came to Harlem. He was trying to build with African people all over. He initially came trying to build with Booker T. Washington. And he had the Universal Negro Independence Association and Improvement Association. My bad. I don't know how I messed that up. I'm thinking about our brothers who got the Umoja Movement for Pan-African Independence. But Yeah, this man, he brought black people together. He had numbers up to 6 million after figures are accurate. But you can always read his book, The Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey, and just going to the brilliance of this man's mind. He been an influence on what you were seeing in the 60s with Malcolm X and everybody, because he was influenced on Elijah Muhammad and everything. I think a lot of people were influenced by Marcus Garvey, and one thing that I love about his movement is that he wasn't bringing no one religion thing, so he was doing it with all African people, one aim, one God, one destiny. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you Muslim, you Christian, or you practice your traditional African faith like Yoruba or your Comedic sciences or whatnot. I mean, he was building with African people, and that was true unity. And of course his movement was sabotaged by the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, and all that, just like the Black Panthers were sabotaged by them. But I was a brilliant man, but I'm from Charleston, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta mention VC, because that been a warrior, and I love that they just put up a statue this year, so y'all can go check that out on Hampton Park. Go get the man some respect. But this man was free already, you know what I'm saying? He was a carpenter, he bought his little lotto ticket, he won the lottery. He could have just, gone about his life in a coward way and been like, bump the rest of them, I'm free. But what this brother did was he gave his life trying to put together an insurrection, to free his people. So he teamed up with a brother named Gullah Jack in 1822, and they went around Charleston, going to all the plantations and trying to take over, trying to do what was supposed to be done, Because before civil rights and all that came, our people been Africans, you know what I'm saying? They was trying to get their freedom, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just trying to come under the European domination, you know what I'm saying? They was put in that place, you know what I'm saying? Then after they done already been in submission, that's when they, came to fight for civil rights and stuff like that after they already been conquered. But I gotta name another man, Jimmy or Cato, from the Stono Rebellion. That's another giant. They went down. They started off by Johns Island, going through by Hollywood, with 17 that, they revolted against their slave masters, killing. They went to war with the whites, and they was trying to go down to Florida, it was believed, where the Spanish was going to grant them freedom, supposedly. And, just them figures, I can't leave them out. Even though I honor people like Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X and all these people, we got so many beautiful figures coming right from Charleston. There's so much history right here, especially with about 40% of the slaves coming through these ports right here in Charleston. This one of the greatest places to be, in America for African history right here. From Philip Simmons to September Clark, to VC and the rest of them. That's a beautiful place. A lot of historical figures that I can't leave out. So Marcus Garvey, #1, but right here in the Gullah land. And shout out to Queen Quick, because she holding down the Gullah Geechee Nation, holding our heritage together, trying to keep that together for the people, and that's beautiful. And you can find me every weekend. For the most part, I'm at the flea market up in Latson. I set up, I got a booth out there, you see, I got the red, black, and green, everything going on where I'm out there. And I'm trying to hit all the events in Charleston, no matter what it is, from Moja Arts to these Gullah festivals up and down the coast of South Carolina, trying to be out there with the books and stuff, having a literature out there for the people. So you'll see me all over the city. But that's just what I'm doing right now, and what I'm trying to progress into is opening up a store pretty soon here, where I'm going to be having all type of African-centered type of products, you know what I'm saying, from the books to the clothing. And when I say the clothing, I'm talking about, like, I'm going to have even like a lot of the local stuff that our people producing down here, you know what I'm saying? Try to bring some of this stuff out and have a market for our people, basically our own products, you know what I'm saying? We gotta have a market that support each other products and stuff like that. So I'm trying to tie all that in, you know what I'm saying, into one store. Kind of like an urban store. You have the books, you have the clothes, you have all type of stuff like that. It's True Uhuru LLC is the company. And that's basically what I'm doing, and I'm in the middle of building my website too, so y'all see that up. If y'all following me on Facebook, I'll be sharing that all over the web. And basically, I just want to take it as far as I can in that direction with the stores and the internet sales too. Trying to do the retail and at the same time do it with a consciousness, you know what I'm saying? It got to be positive, got to be selling the right stuff for the people, got to be giving people opportunities, you know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to black businesses, we need to spend with each other, and we need to employ our people, you know what I'm saying? Try to help alleviate these unemployment problems by going into our own businesses and stuff like that. You don't got to depend on people. They don't got no jobs out here or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Or your own, you know what I'm saying? They building theirs, build your own. You're a man just like they're a man, you know? And that's what I'm trying to take it. And I'm trying to take it as far as building with people bringing products all over the African diaspora. If you see me on Facebook, you see me use a term a lot, Pan-Africanism. And that basically speaks of the unity of African people all over the world, you know what I'm saying? So if you look at our people, we went all over this planet, not only traveling on our own, but through the slave trade especially. You know, we went to Europe, they took some of us to Europe, we went to the Caribbean, you know, some of us been in Barbados before we came to Charleston, you know, then we went all over the United States. So we come from a common heritage, you know what I'm saying? That's what Pan-Africanism is. We have a common experience, especially with the slavery and colonization of Africa. You know, they've been moving our people all around, and we still gotta have that unity, no matter what they done put us, where they done put us at in the world. They put some of us in Jamaica, they put some of us in Haiti, they put some of us in Charleston, some of us went to New Orleans, some of us stayed back in Ghana, you know what I'm saying? But we still African people at the end of the day. And so I'm trying to build with African people all over this world, you know what I'm saying? I might be selling some of their products, I might write a book and they might be pushing mine, you know what I'm saying? I might be getting shea butter from Ghana, you know what I'm saying, and putting it in my store. So now they getting money over there, and I'm getting money over here, so we building up our economy, our situation, our community, you know what I'm saying? We will be building schools and stuff like that is going on in the world. They got independent schools in Houston, Texas, all over. They got a Pan-African school up in Oakland, and if you watch Brother Umar Johnson, he in the middle of trying to build a school, Frederick Douglass, and I think it's Marcus Garvey Academy, he trying to name it. But you know, people out here trying to build on that Pan-African level and put together good stuff, and not just talk about the problems, but also talk about solutions. So this is what we're doing, and it's going to take finance. It's going to take finance from businesses and stuff to get it done, and that's what I'm trying to do.